Okay, today I'm reviewing Thor: The Dark World, which I just saw today. Now, it's 2018. This movie came out in 2013, 5 years ago, so I'm several years late on this and nobody cares about this movie anymore. But as a project, I'm trying to review every movie I see. So I know. Nobody cares about this movie anymore. Came out 5 years ago. Everyone's moved on. I'm just going to talk about it. Actually, sorry. Let me save you some time. I don't have anything intelligent to say about this movie. It was just kind of meh. Alright, yeah. Action movie, forgettable. Yeah. I'm gonna just kind of ramble on for a few more minutes because that's what I do. But yeah, you can stop the video here if you want. That's the only intelligent thing I have to say about it. So, anyways, a brief background. I didn't see this movie when it first came out because I wasn't that bothered by it. You know, back in 2013, these Marvel movies weren't kind of must-sees at the time. I mean, the big ones were, the Avengers kind of ones were, the big team-ups, but the individual movies, you could see them or you could skip them, and I didn't feel like it was worth a trip to the theater to see this one. I probably would have gone if somebody had invited me, but, you know, I didn't need to go out of my way for it. Plus, it got meh reviews from a few of my friends. I remember one of my friends wrote on Facebook at the time, he said, Thor 2, they should have called it Bore 2. Yeah, sorry about that. I know that's a terrible joke, but I don't know, for whatever reason that just kind of stuck in my head. And so whenever I thought about that Thor movie, I kind of thought, oh yeah, that's the one that's supposed to be really boring. Not just him, I think a few other people told me it was kind of boring, forgettable. But boy, these Marvel movies have been getting better and better lately. You know, I've been thinking about all the Phase 3 movies that I've seen. I never saw Doctor Strange, but Captain America Civil War, boy, that was good. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, that was really good. Spider-Man Homecoming, that was decent. The Black Panther movie, yeah, that was pretty decent. The Thor Ragnarok, boy, that was really good. The Infinity Wars, boy, that one blew me away. Like, you know, like they've been on a roll lately, these Marvel movies. So I've been becoming more and more into it. Like, I'm on board now. I want to see them all because, you know, like, they do all connect, and there's a number of points from Thor: The Dark World that kind of have shown up in the subsequent movies about, like, you know, what's going on in Asgard, where are Loki and Thor and stuff like that, that I kind of picked up from the movies, subsequent movies, but I knew I was kind of missing that piece of the story, so I thought, okay, at some point I'm going to have to go back and watch this. So actually for the past couple years, I've been wanting to kind of watch this movie, but it's never been on TV at a convenient time. I mean, I know you can pirate everything on the internet nowadays, but I don't like doing that. My computer screen is small. I've got a nice big TV screen, moderate size TV screen, and I just thought, you know, I'd like to watch it in comfort on the TV. I'll just try and catch it when it's on TV, and like I would always kind of turn on the TV right at the ends, or kind of halfway through, and I thought, I don't want to watch it halfway through. I want to start at the beginning. So, like, yeah, I just haven't seen it. And then this morning, right while I was eating breakfast, day off work today, by the way, day off work, eating breakfast, kind of lazy day, got the TV on, and then it was on. And then I thought, okay, brilliant, I'll kind of watch it. So, yeah, I've finally seen it now. Seen the whole thing, and it was meh. A little bit boring in places, not terrible, but not great. But yeah, let me get into it, I guess. What did I like, what did I not like? So, the interesting thing about these Thor movies, I think this has been true about kind of all of them, is the way they kind of mix Norse mythology with the comic books. And my understanding is that this comes directly from Jack Kirby. The guy who wrote the Thor comic books in the 1960s. I've not actually read them. I've read a lot of comic books in my time, but I haven't read the old Thor books. But people who have tell me that the originals were just kind of every bit kind of as wacky as the movie, where you could take these elements from Norse mythology and you mix them in with comic books. And it's interesting watching these movies because you're watching it and you're like, the 9 realms, the Rainbow Bridge, the Dark Elves, Vanahir, what is this stuff? This has got to be some crazy comic book writing that they're just kind of throwing all this weird stuff together. And then you go on Wikipedia and like the craziest stuff in here is all from Norse mythology. So like, yeah. I mean, it seems like some crazy acid 1970s thing, but this is all directly from the original Norse mythology. Like, Norse mythology was weird, wasn't it? One of these days, I'm really going to have to read up on it. I was really into Greek mythology as a kid, but I never read up much on Norse mythology. Yeah. Anyway, so that aspect of it is interesting. The Asgard world is weird in a good way and interesting and kind of visually appealing. Something I really liked from the first Thor movie, which I saw, I don't know, years ago. I don't really remember it terribly well, but I remember like Thor had his buddies, right? The 3 warriors, and the lady Sif, I think was her name. And those guys, I like those guys. I mean, I like them for 2 reasons. One reason I liked them is because it kind of, it made Thor kind of part of a team. He wasn't like this crazy loner. He had like his own team of warriors. Even though he was kind of separate team up with the Avengers. When he went and fought with the Avengers, he was just kind of the one guy. But, back in his home turf, he's got like this team of warriors, of Asgardian warriors. So I thought that was a neat touch. Also, all 3 of these guys were kind of played by character actors, and I mean like character actor in a good way. Like, the kind of actor who can do kind of over-the-top, quirky, and kind of really fun and stuff like that. And I really liked him from the first movie, and then I thought they were in the second movie, so like it's good that they were in it. It's good that the director and like the casting guys were able to get them back, and that they were concerned about continuity in order to get everyone back. But they just really underutilized them. They were like barely in the movie. And because I've seen these movies out of order, now I know from Thor Ragnarok that they just kind of all get killed off at the beginning of that. So like now they're done. Like we won't see those characters again. So I thought it was kind of a shame that those team of characters never got reutilized in the second or third Thor movies. Also, Asgard was cool, the waterfall, the Rainbow Bridge, stuff like that. But the Dark World was just boring. Just not visually appealing at all. I mean, I know it's supposed to be dark, but it was just like boring in the sense of like lazy, as in like they didn't put in any work kind of creating an interesting visual environment for the Dark World scenes. So that was just kind of blah. And the villains were just not interesting at all. Yeah. I know I'm not the first person to point this out. I've been reading other reviews of this movie and everyone else has pointed this out. But it's true. Like, it's just, they're monsters for Thor to fight, but there's really not much of a plot there. The interesting dynamic in this movie is kind of Thor's family, and particularly the dynamic between Thor and Loki. And that is interesting. Now, because I'm watching these movies out of order, I I've already seen Thor Ragnarok, so I kind of know a little bit where some of this is going, and that took away some of the suspense of it. But it was still good chemistry between these two characters, and they both do a good job. They've got a nice banter between them. There were some decent fight scenes in these movies. You know, nothing I'm going to write a letter home to my mother about, but yeah, decent enough, entertaining. It wasn't really that funny. There were some attempts at comic relief, but very little that kind of landed. Yeah, what else do I want to say about this movie? Maybe that's it. Yeah, it was just kind of, meh. I think if I had to, I think I maybe, I don't know, kind of an average movie. So maybe I give it 4 stars. But I'm going to lean towards being conservative on this maybe and just give it kind of 4 stars because it's quite forgettable. Yeah, I mean, it's not forgettable in the sense that now it's a piece of the story. And actually, to give credit where credit is due, you can see here in retrospect where they're already kind of setting up some of the pieces that are going to be a big part of the next few movies and kind of culminate in Infinity Wars. So that's kind of interesting to see, like, stuff they were already planning from way back in 2013. But yeah, the movie itself, I don't know, Thor's kind of a cool character. Chris Hemsworth plays him with a lot of charm and charisma, and like that hammer thing is cool, like he's swinging the hammer. I know it's just a stupid prop, but like they really sell it in the movie. Like when he hits somebody with a hammer, you can just like feel like the energy behind it. So, you know, some of those fight scenes with the hammer were cool. But yeah, overall, just kind of a mostly forgettable movie. Okay, I think that I've exhausted everything I have to say about this. I'm gonna finish here.